Wow, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny gets completely ruined at the theaters. Well, who saw this coming? I don't know who saw this coming. Maybe I reported on it back a month ago when this thing was starting to cause panic for Disney. Indiana Jones 5 underwhelms with 70 million at international box office. It's like 130 total right now. This is a very poor start for a movie that they spent before advertising budgets $300 million on. It's absolutely absurd. It's crazy where movies are going nowadays when you have to spend $300 million to maybe make $100 million on it. At that type of money that you're dropping on these movies, if you look at the Mario movie, they dropped $100 million on that movie, which, mind you, is a little high for a movie that then turns around and makes over $1 billion. Indiana Jones, 295 million before marketing to bring the fifth and final action adventure starring Harrison Ford to the big screen under Dial of Destiny, and it opens up and it's lackluster. The movie numbers are off-putting. Only $130 million for the opening weekend. That's including international, including worldwide box office. This is not looking good for Indiana Jones. It's a very poor send-off for Harrison Ford. I'm a big fan of Harrison Ford, but this is not not something that I think he really would be happy with. Looking at the reviews, well, you got Rotten Tomatoes, the critics giving it a 58%, and the all audiences at 81%. So when you look at it, right now the critics are 68 on the main page, but when you look at the actual details, it's not like that. 68 is probably about right where this is going to lie. You go over to Metacritic, and they're looking at a 4.5 out of 10. That's bad. And a critic review score of 57 out of 100. That is hilariously bad. Now, I gotta say, one of the things that did catch my eye is this 5, probably more worthy of it. An adventure can be many things, but I think the bottom line is that it must be fun. Can you correlate something that has entertaining merits but not thrills? I've been thinking about it a lot. In my opinion, that's what happens in the latest installment of Indiana Jones. Yes, it has a degree of an appeal, but it doesn't elicit any incitement. Nearly $300 million were spent on a story that feels empty, unfocused, and worse, a conspicuous lack of motivation. My God, it's clear that Harrison Ford himself didn't want to be there. It's noticeable that even for that reason, Phoebe Waller-Bridge seems to have been given a lot of starring weight. Even poor Mads Mikkelsen once again ends up as a tedious, one-dimensional villain. It's terrible to see this actor wasted in English language films. As I said, the entertainment dimension are present. In the case, I give special mentions to chase sequence in the Tanger and the whole opening sequence of the film. From there on, the rest leaves much to be desired. There's even people like the next one here, just as bad as Crystal Skull. Seems like they focus too much on trying to deliver their political and gender narrative instead of making a good movie. And that has been one of the mainstays of pop culture nowadays. Is it's ripe full of politics and gender and all this stuff that no one wants to see on the big screen. They don't want to be reminded how poor their lives might be. It's absolutely ridiculous that that has to be on the forefront. I even saw one on here where they said, I'm sorry I dissed the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, but this movie was bad, and it goes to show. IMDb is also giving it a 6.9, and if you scroll through here, most are around a 7, which is probably where the movie's going to end up. It's not all that bad, but it's not going to be that great. I remember watching Crystal Skull, and there was moments where it was like, okay, it just didn't go along with the same storytelling as the original three: The Last Crusade, Temple of Doom, and of course, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Now, I gotta say, when they brought the exhibit here to town, the Indiana Jones exhibit, after the Crystal Skull came out, I went to that exhibit and I actually had a blast. It was really neat to see all the little bits and pieces that they put together that Harrison Ford wore, like his hat and stuff like that. Part of it was very good, and that was a Lucas Arts thing. They did the same thing with Star Wars. They brought this big giant exhibit, and those things were absolutely amazing. But this is, once again, Disney's got their hand in the cookie jar, and they're trying to pull out whatever they can for cookies, and they're just coming up empty. They just don't have anything left for the cookies in the jar, and they don't have anything to put back in it, and they've pulled out everything they can of it, and they can't fill it up again. So this is once again another failure on the Disney front. We'll have to wait to see where the numbers truly lie, but it does not look good for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm your proud Canadian Phoenix, Cindershadow. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will catch you all next time.